Have you ever noticed how people say, just stop thinking about it, as if your mind has an off switch, like thoughts politely wait for instructions, but they don't. Thoughts intrude, they repeat, they escalate. One thought turns into a storyline. One worry turns into a future you're already emotionally living in. And the problem isn't that you're thinking too much. The problem is no one ever taught you what the Bible actually says to do with thoughts. Because here's the surprise. Scripture never tells you to stop thinking. It tells you to take thoughts captive. And that changes everything. Most believers try to fight thoughts by ignoring them. I'll just pray and move on. But the thought stays. It gets louder. It gets heavier. Your body reacts. Your shoulders tense. Your breathing shortens. Your mind starts collecting proof. And suddenly, you're not just having a thought. You're being led by it. But the Bible never called you to be passive in your mind. It called you to be authoritative. The Apostle Paul says in 2 Corinthians 10:5, we take captive every thought to make it obedient to Christ. Notice the language, not suppress, not ignore. Take captive. That's military language. Captivity implies resistance, authority, action. You don't negotiate with a captive. You restrain it. You command it. Now pause. Most Christians think spiritual authority is only about external things, demons, oppression, circumstances. But what if the first place authority was meant to be exercised is your mind? Because if a thought controls you, it doesn't matter what you believe on paper. Thoughts shape emotions. Emotions shape decisions. Decisions shape direction. And direction shapes destiny. Here's where this gets interesting. Neuroscience actually supports this biblical command. Your brain has a default mode network. It's what activates when your mind wanders. That's where worry loops live. Negative thoughts repeat because the brain is designed to reinforce what it revisits. Silence doesn't weaken those loops, it strengthens them. Ignoring a thought doesn't make it disappear, it gives it room to grow. But when you actively confront a thought, especially verbally, you engage higher-order brain regions responsible for control and regulation. In simple terms, confrontation interrupts the loop. Passivity feeds it. That's why the Bible doesn't say, don't think. It says, take the thought. Jesus modeled this perfectly. In the wilderness, when lies came, he didn't meditate quietly. He spoke. It is written. Spoken truth wasn't just spiritual, it was strategic. Words externalize authority. Thoughts internalize influence. The Bible even explains why. Proverbs 18:21 says, death and life are in the power of the tongue, not the power of the mind, the tongue, because thoughts tolerated become beliefs. Thoughts confronted lose power. So here's the shift. You don't try to stop thoughts from coming, you stop them from staying. Practical step number 1, identify the intruder. When a thought arrives, I'm failing, God won't help, this will never change. Don't absorb it, label it. That's not truth. That's not from God. Captivity starts with recognition. Practical step number 2, take it verbally. Say it out loud. I reject that thought. You're not being dramatic. You're being biblical. Verbal authority engages both spirit and mind. Practical step number 3, replace it. Every captive thought needs a new master. Speak truth. God is for me. I have the mind of Christ. I am not abandoned. This isn't positive thinking. This is obedience. Let me ask you something. What if the reason some thoughts keep returning isn't because they're powerful, but because they've never been taken captive? What if anxiety isn't your enemy, but unchallenged thoughts are? The Bible never told you to empty your mind. That idea comes from culture, not Scripture. Scripture says renew it. Renewal implies activity. Authority implies engagement. And here's the final key. Captivity isn't a one-time event. It's a practice. The more you confront, the faster your mind learns. Over time, your brain stops defaulting to fear and starts expecting truth. That's neuroplasticity. That's renewing the mind. That's Scripture and science agreeing. You were never meant to be ruled by unchecked thoughts. You were meant to rule them, not by silence, not by suppression, but by authority. If this shifted how you see your mind, pause and comment, "I take my thoughts captive." Because this isn't information, it's activation. Start today. Speak truth, take authority, and watch how your inner world begins to change.